Welcome to Kila Chari Torah's daily Sefirat to Haomer, counting the Haomer with opportunities for spiritual growth, courtesy of Sefira in Our Lives, book by Mrs. Hani Juravel for Thursday, May 26th. Last night we counted 40 days of the Haomer, Hayom Arba'im Yom Shehem Chamisha Shavuos v'Chamisha Yamim La Haomer. The Sefira for the day, Hod Shebiyasod, humility in bonding. She writes, years ago I heard Rav Yisachar Frand, a famous rabbi, originally from Seattle, I should mention, but been teaching for decades at Ner Yisrael in Baltimore, and gives a very popular weekly parsha share that you can find online. Heard Rav Frand say that it's no coincidence that they're a little bit of a joke. No coincidence that the Yiddish word for ich is for I is ich, because too much I is really ich. You have to speak both languages to really get that. Okay, today brings us to Hod within Yesod, humility within bonding. Bonding from humility means putting ourselves into the relationship without a self centered agenda. Instead of looking for what I can gain, it means what can I give? Today we ask ourselves, how much is the relationship about me? Is it about my desire for you to understand me, to be like or think like me, or to commiserate with me? Or am I approaching it in a humbling, as a humbling opportunity to give of myself to another person? I was speaking once, she writes, with a young man who had just gotten engaged. He said, I know I'm not the most giving person by nature, but I'm ready to do the right thing anyway. I just want to know how long I'm going to have to be married before I really want to give her the better steak off the grill. It's a great question. And just the fact that he asked it showed he was probably off to a lot of great growing. Giving is a process, but it's important to evaluate how big a role humility plays in the way I approach the bond. It's critical to realize that being married or being close or being bonded on any level never means that the two of us are definitely going to see things the same way or always be on the same page. Looking at things differently and even agreeing to disagree doesn't mean the bond is not successful. It might even mean that it's a terrific bond. Because in truth, healthy and successful bonding is about learning to respect and allow room for one another's differences. It's not about being the same, it's about recognizing how two of us balance each other and grow with and from one another's differences. Here's her story of the day. A couple of years ago, in the middle of a wedding dinner, the bride's father got up to speak. He was a lovely, dear man. He and his wife shared a long and meaningful journey to get to the point of marrying off their daughter, their beautiful daughter. When he began to thank his wife in his speech, he said, my wife and I are not always on the same page. We've not always necessarily been in the same chapter, but after all these years, I'm proud to say that we have been writing the same book. I thought that was perfect, she comments. We can recognize our differences in a positive way and achieve empathy, where I can learn to feel for you and relate to what you want and vice versa. Not because we're the same, but because I know how I feel about my preferences and what I want, so I can empathize with you and imagine how you must feel about the things that are important to you. Okay, we'll cut to the call to action for the day. In one of your relationships, she writes, there's probably something that needs to be done that, to be honest, you're hoping the other party will do first. It can be as small a task as an errand or as big as an apology. Today, be the one to make it happen. After you do, reflect on how good you thought it would feel had the other side initiated it, and then recognize how incredibly great you feel for having been the one to do it instead. Good exercise and thought and challenge for the day. Let's all make the most of it. Have a good day. Please tune in again tomorrow. Bye bye.